I just want to say this is not the a random T-shirt I just found. Somebody gave it to me years ago, probably like months ago actually, and I'm just wearing it just because I'm wearing it. Now this is NarniaVember. What do you think it's all about? Narnia. Yeah, I did a very shitty review last week, so this week I'm talking about Prince Caspian, and personally, this film is great. It's not bad, it's not good, but it's great. And personally, I prefer it than the BBC version. But the BBC version, I think this month I'm just gonna talk about all the versions, the what's better, what's worse. The BBC version versus the film version, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I think personally, this is what I'm going to talk about this year with NarniaVember. So yeah, what happens in the BBC versions? It's the same thing, but less budget, and is more faithful to the book. For example, Prince Caspian is a preteen or early teenager. In the film, it's like he's in his 20s, because the book doesn't even feature that much. Well, the book, he's not really faithful to the book when it comes to the film, but they try their best. Like, you had loads of time to figure out the characters in the first episode of Prince Caspian, the BBC version, because my friend who's just kicked me out of my home because of the new child has came out. I can figure out what's going on because I've watched the film several times, but I just can't think properly. So King, whatever his name is, I'm not even bothered to research it because I know what I'm talking about. Because this king is really evil, and he doesn't like Narnia, okay? So Narnia is like a no-no for him. But Prince Caspian wants to know about Narnia, okay? And he been rescued by a badger and a dwarf, and another dwarf is got captured by the other men, soldiers, later on in the film. And then and in the BBC version, it's crystal clear what's going to happen. You know what I mean? You know what's happening. It's only like 2 episodes, because the other 4 episodes is for the Dawn Treader BBC version. That's the other 4 episodes. But the 2 episodes is Prince Caspian. So number 1 and number 2 is like part 1 out of Prince Caspian and the Voyage of Dawn Treader. And Prince Caspian is, to me, it's low budget, and they make it crystal clear what's going to happen, what's going on in those 2 episodes. And so this friend of Caspian, he's a dwarf, and he talks about that when he's talking about the skies and what happened in the past and stuff like that. But some people have that with some films, like in Shrek. In Shrek, he talks about the stars and what's happened in the past and stuff like that. And I featured that in the 80s version of Clash of the Titans. Okay, so but anyway, so I think that happened in the book with the dwarf person. It didn't feature in the film because the film was like, okay, just go. I got all the stuff for you to help you on the way in the future, but just go. That's what happened in the film. And because you know what I mean. If you watch the film, you know what I'm trying to say. I know what's in my head. You haven't watched the Narnia films. What's the point of watching this video? But this is what I do. I watch films. I talk about it. Yeah, and sometimes I won't recognise the name of the character because I haven't watched for a really long time. But some people say watch it nowish so you remember the characters' names. And I know what characters it is. Like in the BBC version, there's more talk about it. There's more action. Okay, there's less action, but there's more talk about Aslan's howl. There's more talk about than in the film. The film, they just went there, and then they had a battle at the evil king's place, and most of the Narnian creatures died there. They didn't happen in the BBC version, and I don't think they happened in the book, but I'm not sure because I haven't read it. But there's lots of things in this film that I really I like things in this. I like things that happen in films. I like, okay, it's good, but I like it when they're supposed to be faithful to the book, and then nothing's faithful to the book when it comes to the Narnia films. But I think the closest was Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, because the Voyage of Dawn trailer comes even worse. I'm not going to tell you about it today, but yeah, there's a different sort of things in the film, and I'm not sure it happened in the BBC version, but at the very end, some of the evil characters that became good characters when they came to the evil king's their related family or guards or whatever, they become goodies and they want to go to the other world. Here. We're not here while I'm recording, but Earth, I mean, not Narnia. And that happened in the sort of tree bit. And there's something up with Susan and Prince Caspian, or I could say just Caspian. But I'm not sure it happened in the book, but definitely in the BBC version, it didn't happen with crushes and stuff like that, or relationships. But I don't think. Okay, so as you probably do know if you read the book, in the Voyage of Dawn trailer, he marries to this angel sort of daughter of this goddess. God person, angel or prince of the sun or something like that. Not prince of the sun, king, or I don't know what it's called. But I know about that because I watched the BBC version of the Voyage of Dawn trailer, and that happened in that. So it didn't happen in the film, and that's a disappointment. Not in this film, but the next film, Voyage of Dawn trailer, and that's a disappointment because I don't think the writers knew. I don't think the writers actually read the book that much. I think they read the book years ago in their 20s or something, in school, and I forgot about the final interesting bit of Voyage of Dawn trailer, but they didn't do it because they're thick. And I'm not saying they're fake, but I feel like they just missed out some important things in the next film. But Prince Caspian, they just made. Okay, I like what happened. I like in the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe with the train bit, the intro with that. I like that. Every time the title comes up of the film, I like. That's the only interesting things about these films. It's the title coming up. The first bit was the train bit. The second bit is when Caspian was riding a horse into the woods. And then the third one is something about the building of the company name of the film. I don't know. But, yeah, I watched all these films. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not that thick. I think you know that I'm not thick because otherwise I won't be making these videos like this, would I? Today I'm going to talk about the review of Prince Caspian. I don't do that, okay? So, yeah, I like these sort of things when they have faithful to the book, but I don't think that faithful than the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Okay, another Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe is not faithful that much, but is faithful than the other two films after that, okay? Because I like in the BBC version that the Badger is played by a female, and I like that. Because it's a little bit distracting that the Badger, or whatever the creature is in this film, is played by a male. And I'm not sure because it's a change or it's just annoying for me. I'm not sure, but it doesn't work out. It doesn't fit well for me personally. I don't know why, but I like the female. Probably because I like the BBC one better, but I don't know. I do like some Narnia films that are really good, and some others distracting. And I feel like with Weeper Cheap in the BBC one, played by Warwick Davis, I feel like he did fine in the BBC one, but he did really, really well in, well, he didn't play the same character, he played a different character in the film, because Warwick Davis played different sort of things in the BBC one and the film one, so he played different sort of characters that do it Narnia, okay? So, and he didn't play Weeper Cheap, somebody else played Weeper Cheap in this one, and personally, it doesn't count. I feel like he did good, he's a good warrior, he's a good fighter and stuff like that, but it's just too comic relief sort of thing. And I'm not saying that all these films are rubbish and there's too whatever, but I feel like it's just not the same as what I wanted to be. I did like the film, I don't hate it, I love the film, but I feel like it's not what I got used to it over time. As I said in the last film, I got used to it, but I feel like I still prefer it to the BBC one. Even though the effects were rubbish, even though it's this and that, I do like the BBC one, but I got used to the film one, okay? So, that's it, okay? So, over time, I got used to this film, but you know why? Because I like the charm in this film, and I like the charm in the BBC version, okay? And I thought the only thing I got annoyed in this version, sorry about the glasses, the only thing I got annoyed was, you know, when Lucy was saying, "Oh, I saw Aslan in the big rock thing," or what you want to call it. I didn't see Aslan at all. I'm not saying that they try to make them look like you didn't see Aslan. Not because of that. It's because in the BBC version, you, the audience, and Lucy saw Aslan, and the other characters didn't. That's the whole thing, and I don't think they noticed that well. That's why they didn't place it in that film, in that Aslan was slightly appearing, slightly not. And I don't think the effects didn't. And I forgot to say this in the last review, but the other thing about Aslan is, like, Aslan was running with Susan and Lucy, you know, in like the original wardrobe, not flying, because in the book they're flying, and guess what? As you probably guessed, in the BBC one he was flying to Jadis's castle. So why did he? Okay, you make changes to that. I get it, because logically, lions don't fly. I get that. So I get it why you want to change that, even though it's not right, because I like faithfulness to books. You know what I mean? But I watched Larkins recently, and I watched the previous Larkins, Darling Buzz and May in the 90s, and then watched that. But I only watched the remake, and I like the remake. I haven't seen, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes when it comes to faithfulness, you watch previous versions of stuff, but you don't. Well, sometimes you don't watch previous versions, because I haven't seen the original Larkins one. But anyway, Prince Caspian. So yeah, there's lots of different versions that are good, like, and bad, and I get it with running, not flying. But I don't know why you didn't say, oh, why don't you just show a little bit of Aslan and disappear? You know, of the face, I mean. But that wouldn't be that logical, okay? So I get it why they don't want to show it, but it just makes no sense why he says, oh, look, Aslan, well, you clearly see there's no Aslan there. In the book, it probably makes sense, and, well, not make sense, well, you know what I mean. In the book, the idea is good, and because BBC one is meant for pre-teens and stuff like that, and kids, they try their best to look all okay-ish, sort of kiddish, that the Aslan is appearing and disappearing and stuff like that. So it makes sense in the Narnia world, but it makes sense for kids as well, because some kid shows it's like that, okay? So, but I like the I know I'm like a broken record, and I know I keep on saying this, but I like it how the BBC one is faithful to the book than the film. The film is good, the film is decent, and they also appear that, as I mentioned in the BBC one, and I think I had mentioned in the book, that with the bear, with Lucy saying, "Are you alright? I'm your friend," and the bear's nearly going to kill her, because apparently over time Narnian characters or Narnian people disappear without their characteristics, with talking, and animals can't talk anymore that much. So that was good. They remembered to put that in, because that's the important thing about Prince Caspian. Well, not the character Prince Caspian, but the whole story about Prince Caspian. It's how the Narnian characters and whatever forget how to speak and stuff. Not the human characters, but I mean like not the human dwarves or whatever. But I mean like, you know what I mean. But now the other thing is the wolf and the witch with the it was weird because, you know, with the orange fire around it. If you understand, you know what I mean. If you watch the BBC version, you grew up with the BBC version, and you can't understand it why they've changed it, because I like the blue fire because that's what you probably believe what happens in Narnia. They have these sort of mythical, ancient magic sort of things, and that's what happens in those sort of eras with Narnia. Yeah. Well, they didn't show that. They showed Jadis again, and then the Voyage of Dawn Treader. They don't talk about the other important things from the book. They show Jadis again. I get it in Star Wars that they want to show Palpatine all the time in the Star Wars franchise because it's different, it's unique. So for that, and even though the ninth film was shitty with Star Wars, they still want to show Palpatine because, you know, screw Snoke. They show Palpatine in the last one, even though it's not that good. But with Prince Caspian, why are you showing Jadis? Jadis already died. Look, even though Caspian wants to know about the old Narnian stories, doesn't mean you have to show Jadis. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's complicated. So what do you think, guys? Put in the comments down below. If I'm right, I'm wrong. Put in the comments down below what you think about Prince Caspian, and what you think, like feedback, and what I missed about Lionel Richie the Wardrobe. As I said again, I missed about Aslan flying and why it's not flying in that version. But yeah, what do you think? And I'll see you all next time. Sorry if I can't speak properly. I just gone mad. But yeah, sorry about talking too quickly, and I can't keep up on what I want to say. I'm so sorry about that. But I'll see you all next time. Bye.